Welcome to the show. It's a daytime vibe, DC purple, let the positivity tribe. Catching up on the highlights, what's new, what's real, flowing through the moments, that's our ideal. Grab your drink, let's unwind. In this space, good time find. Daytime pop-up, we're loud and we're free. With DCT, the purple diva, cup with me, catching all the good. In this vibrant space, join the fun, come on now, let's embrace. Stories from our lives and the world around. Pop up, chat, hear the joy, feel the sound. From laughter to lessons, all wrapped in a beat. Tune in, stay close, let's vibe on this street. See the love, feel the flow. With every second, watch us glow. Daytime pop-up, we're live and we're free. With DCT's and purple diva, pop with me, catching all the good. In this vibrant space, join the fun, come on now, let's embrace. Together we rise, thanks for coming by. In this daytime pop-up, we reach for the stars. With every second, watch us glow. Daytime pop-up, we're live and we're free. With DCT's and purple diva, pop with me, catching all the good. In this vibrant space, join the fun, come on now, let's embrace. Together we rise, thanks for coming by. In this daytime pop-up, we reach for the stars.
Feliz lunes. And it seems to be a loony thing going on out there. 'Cause what we doing? Aunties, what we doing out here? I'm just wondering what we out here to do. Let me put this, flip it over to the instrument. I'm like, what are we doing? So I'm gonna come on here because it's lunchtime for me, and I'm gonna say what I have to say and go back to being the boss bitch that I am in real life. Okay, so let's get this together. So I came on yesterday and I was talking about the aunties out here acting up in the streets. Let me take a sip of my coffee because it's still morning here on the west side. And how crazy it was. So this morning, just Krista got on and she kind of explained, some of her stuff. Girl, I'm glad you explained about the Lysol wrap because I wasn't understanding that. I was not understanding that at all. But girl, girl, you don't have to explain yourself to these people, right? I'm just giving commentary, but you don't have to tell us. Ish, you do what you want to do. But I'm glad you explained about the Lysol because knowing that you had previously been in nursing, I was just like, what the f? What the f? So, but Krista got on this morning and commenced to going in on Lady Nika, and I happen to like both of these ladies, you know, and I hate to see the aunties out here just going off on each other at that. But she also talked about the wig in question that folks were ragging on yesterday. Okay, so this was a new one. Well, I don't know if it was a positive reaction or a negative reaction. Um, but I guess they were just shocked to see you in a different style. I don't know. Maybe you should just stick to your regular style. Um, since that seemed to be since that it seemed to be a trending topic yesterday, and not in a good way from what I could see. But I said what I had to say on wigs yesterday, and again, I don't wear wigs. I have a couple, but I'm not really a wig wearer. Mine are mainly for like characters, like in a movie or in a play. That's what I have them for. So, you know, that's my rationale for them. And some people feel funny about putting another person's hair in their head. You know, even if it's in a wig that's you know attached to your head, it's still close to your head. And I mean, y'all may not believe in that. People's essence can be left in their hair on a spiritual level, but it why chance it? Why not make sure that you done prayed over this if you choose to put it in your hair? And what I would just say is that on the front of wearing wigs, it's always good to use good maintenance when wearing your wig because here's the thing. Um, you can have a less expensive wig and it could look expensive. It's just about how you maintain it and how it is, I guess, quote unquote, installed because y'all install these. I don't understand that part. I don't understand people putting a wig on and then having it, like, I guess, I don't know, sewed in or whatever, and then they sleep with it on and put a scarf and stuff on over it and all kinds of stuff. I just don't. I don't get that. But again, I'm not a wig wearer. Okay, let's be clear. I'm a braid wearer, and I'm gonna talk about braids in a few minutes because that's another one of my topics. The boycott. Um, but anyway, so I mean, you know, whether you're wearing synthetic hair or if you're wearing human hair wig, it's all about the maintenance of the product. And I don't know what the wig looked like yesterday, to be perfectly honest. Um, Based on what you said, it was a straight wig. And okay, so you didn't install it, you just put it on. I I don't even see what the big deal is with that because there's other people on this platform, not necessarily in the beach sector, but around in the various attached black sectors that just put on a wig that's not installed. They take it off. It doesn't have, the mesh at the front, so it blends into their hair. So, child, you didn't even need to explain that. I for one was just making my commentary on it. I am glad that you explained the Lysol wipes because that was looking crazy to me. Especially because I told y'all my dad is a dermatologist. Okay, and has he ever, never has he ever told me to use a Lysol wipe in lieu of wiping my face properly. But I get it. It was part of some kind of challenge of coming on camera makeup free. I don't wear a whole lot of makeup in the first place myself. But however, the makeup that I do wear does not come from the drugstore. Because I'm not saying that there are a few drugstore brands that are very good, and I I I would suggest checking out some of the makeup channels. Like one of my favorites is Brown Girl Bella. She's done on her channel comparisons between the drugstore ones and the higher end ones. A lot of the makeup ones channels do that. So I would just look at that, and getting your makeup game up is all about practice. Practice makes perfect. You know, practice makes perfect because all of us want to look our best, especially if we're putting on makeup. We don't want folks to be talking trashy about our makeup. At least, you know, because makeup is supposed to compliment, and if it's not complimenting you, then either you're not applying it correctly, or it's the wrong um makeup for your skin. Either or, one of those, you know. And I'm just saying that as somebody who's a little older than the aunties that was on here cutting up, because I recognize that I am in the auntie category. I'm well aware of that. Okay, because I'm in my 60s. But I just hate to see y'all out here dragging each other, and then you know bringing your friend in it, and and her sister being brought into it, who's deceased. You know, I don't like um, people being pulled in that don't have nothing to do with stuff, and frankly aren't even here to defend themselves. Like, what the f is that about? What the f is that about? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That part is like, I'm on the kick of let's not bring the kids in, let's not bring the family outside in, and definitely let's not bring dead relatives into it or dead friends. I know that's you know how they do it in the beach sector, and they you know hit below the belt, but clearly it's a trigger for both of y'all. So why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? I'm just saying. And let me say this other thing, and I'm gonna move on to my next subject. Why are we even making lemon the part of that the conversation as well? Because what the either one of y'all know him in real life. Okay. He's 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 nobody's real man, you know, and the internet based stuff. Okay, I'm just leave that one alone. Moving on to my next subject. So I I think you would have had to been up under a rock to have not at least heard or, you know, caught it on the replay. Uh, uh, Just Kimmy's live yesterday on a Sunday morning. As I was getting ready for church, I was listening to it. And then last night, after I did my my daytime pop up yesterday, O- ODS got on about the thing about about him putting somebody eggplant in his mouth that was con- quote unquote positive, and we'll just leave it at that. And said individual, you know, wasn't he in the DMV at one point? I'm not sure if that's where he's from, but I think he was in the DMV at one point because that was the conversations around him before he went to wherever it is that I think he is now. I think he's in New York. Um, and I'm speaking of Rico. But I mean, it's common knowledge on here that his eggplant is positive. It's common knowledge on of that. I'm just saying. So ODS is saying that he didn't do it. Rico is saying that he did. Here's my question. Why are we talking about this? Didn't this happen like 3, 4 years ago? What are we doing talking about something from so long ago? And why do we have to be reminded of it if he actually did that disgusting ish? I don't even care, about the alleged that, you know, Rico has a 9-inch eggplant. Ooh, ooh. We need to be we need to be practicing safe, you know, in all communities, especially in the alphabet community. But you see, it's crazy now because people can walk around here and be what they call undetectable. But when somebody tells you this is what's going on with them, I just don't understand. If you actually did that. You say you did, he says you did. He swears on his grandmama's grave. I hate when people doing the swearing on the dead relatives' graves and stuff because you can be swearing on somebody's grave and still be lying. You could still be lying. So that doesn't make it the truth to me. But you're not I also know that a lot of people have tried to smash with with Rico, allegedly, knowing his status. And the status is not alleged. So, I don't know. I don't really care. So, and we should find something else to talk about. I mean, I'm just saying, we should find something else to talk about, uh, other than people's, relations and who people have relations with or have oral conversations with, if you get my drift. I'm just saying. So, okay, that's all I had to say on that one. Moving on. So now I wanted to just talk quickly about this boycott that is supposed to be starting on August 1st. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but on August 1st, foundational Black Americans, those of us who are the descendants of slaves, are supposed to be boycotting African businesses. Now, it started out with just the braiders, and now it's moved on to restaurants and African businesses as a whole for the entire month of August. That's what's supposed to be happening. Now, I'm going to just talk about the braider part because I don't get my hair braided in an African braid shop. I braid my own hair and have braided my own hair and known how to braid my own hair since I was in college. When I was in college, it was my hustle. The only women who have actually braided my hair have been foundational Black Americans. Let me just say that. One has gone on to glory, rest in peace, Kelly. And the other one, well, when I went strictly to braiding my hair, I've just been doing it myself because I was getting my hair done. I was having her, I would get my hair washed and flat ironed every 2 weeks, or every now and then. But now I haven't been doing that. If I decide I want to get my hair flat ironed, I'll go back to her. Or if I decide I don't want to braid my own daggone hair, I'll go back to her. I've never gone to the African shops, and the people who have braided my hair have never been charging me $500 and $600 because, yeah, I don't have 1 inch hair. Okay, my hair is not 1 inch. My hair is about, I don't know, 16, 17, 18 inches because it's, like almost halfway down my daggone back. And even in its shrinkage stage, it's still below my shoulders in the shrinkage stage, that us Black girls go through. And one of the main reasons that I've never gone to one of the African braiders is, number one, they braid people's hair too damn tight. Number two, they don't like to deal with those of us who have longer hair. I don't know what it is, but everybody seems to think that every Black girl has 2 inches of hair, when that's not a fact. Our hair can grow, and those of us who choose to have longer hair, let it grow. I braid my own damn hair. So I'm not boycotting the African braiders because I've never been to them. Now, there's not really a lot of African restaurants in my area or other African businesses. But the one African restaurant, and it's a Nigerian restaurant, I'm going to say that I have frequented in my area. It's been a few years, and one of the reasons I have not gone back to the said restaurant is because of how rudely they were acting when I was in there ordering the food. Like, I don't know what Nigerian food is when I wanted some fish soup. She was trying to say, well, the head is in there and everything. In my head, I'm like, lady, I know what I'm ordering. So I think the only time after that I ordered, I did it online. versus going into the restaurant because I don't have time for you thinking I don't know what the hell I'm ordering when I'm coming into a Nigerian restaurant because I must want some Nigerian food. Now, when I've gone to an Ethiopian restaurant that is in Little Ethiopia, which is over in Los Angeles, never had that issue. I know that, some Ethiopians act kind of funny style with the I know that's some of them. And I'm gonna say it. There are some Nigerians that act funny style, but it's not all of them. Just as it's not all of the Ethiopians or Kenyans, but you do have some people who act funny style with us. Now, this whole situation is happening because a lady who I believe they said is Liberian got her behind up online and declared war on African Americans or foundational Black Americans, whichever you want to call us. I prefer to call us foundational Black Americans, and that's because of you know things like like our faces being played in for the essence test, things like that. But as far as a complete boycott, well, let me just say this: folks who act right with me and don't act funny with me, why would I boycott theirs? Now, I don't have a problem boycotting the braid shop. As I said, I've never had my hair braided by anyone African because I've seen enough videos online of them acting effing crazy up in the place, and just some of them feeling themselves about being a braider. You know, but then and again, if I was going to go to one, I would ask one of my friends who is Nigerian who she gets her hair braided by. And I would be referred by someone who is from their culture. Somebody who is from their culture. That's how I would handle it. But that's just me. That's just me. You know. So let me. So that's supposed to start on August the 1st. I'm gonna see how that goes. Now there are a couple of African businesses in the area. As I said, at some places people don't act funny style, and some of them they do. And I have run into some groups of people that are from the continent who have acted very funny style. Okay, so but I'll do. I have a video upcoming on on that topic dealing with them. You know, as far as the people who act funny style. But I'm gonna see. I'm interested to see how this boycott is gonna go for the month of August because as I said, this Liberian woman got on here and declared war on us, and that's really what I think set this whole situation off. In addition to the fact that they were playing in black women's faces at Essence Fest this year. And if you don't know about that one, I did a video on that as well. But I do have one upcoming in regards to why we no longer want to call ourselves African American and on why there seems to be some people from the continent who picture themselves better than us, say we have no culture and all kinds of other nonsense. But for now, I'm getting ready to get off of here because as I said, I was going to come on here and hold on. they I'm getting ready to get off of here because as I said, I'm just gonna come on here, say what I gotta say, and then I'm gonna go back to being a boss bitch, which is I'm gonna go back, you know, to my career off of YouTube. And I mean, this is all my streams of income are careers for me. Right now, the YouTube thing is more of a hobby because, I'm not really making any money from that. But um, I'm going to go back to being a boss bitch and I'm going to go back to dropping my content for you guys. I will be dropping some content either later on today or by tomorrow. But for right now, I offer you guys a peace and blessings from the West Side. Um, I will be on again later this week for daytime pop up, and I will also be dropping in to do some not so random chat at night. This particular uh, this particular one is a simulcast on the Purple Diva Den because we're activating that. And as an FYI, I am about to start dropping some poetry over there. Uh, I would give you a little bit of it right now, but I've run out of time, and I think the poetry is more appropriate for nighttime. So maybe I'll drop it when I come on for a little not some rambling trap. Give y'all a little something something from the poem that I'm working on right now. But for right now, y'all, I'm gonna get on back to real life off the platform. I'll see you later. Peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out, y'all. Peace. Bye.